Well, I love this season. I feel like when things start to get heated, you're always like, I gotta go feed my baby, which is like the best excuse
the
to
boobs
have
tell
now.
me when.
Yeah,
it is the best out. I love it.
Yeah, this latest episode, you did that after you and Brock had your moments with Lala, and you were the bigger person, and you forgave her. Where do you guys stand today?
We're very solid. We're in a really good place. We had a few bumps in the road. There's still another to come. We are in a very good place, but it wasn't an easy road getting here. And there's still so much more to our friendship story that you'll see on the second half of the season. Stay tuned for the reunion, you know?
Yeah.
All the always comes back up then. So.
Yeah. When all this news broke about Randall and Lala, it kind of felt like poetic justice for you after she said so many things about your relationship with Brock. How did you react to the news about her and Randall?
Everyone's like, oh, aren't you happy? Like she's getting her karma. And I'm like, no, because honestly, I don't want to see anyone go through that. I don't want to see any family torn apart, you know, whether it's a divorce or a breakup. Ocean's parents are now not under the same roof. And that's devastating for any family. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And she is far from my worst enemy. She's a good friend. So it was really upsetting to hear about all of that. And I just wish them both the best. And I hope, you know, for Ocean, they can just come to a good arrangement for her sake.
Yeah. How is she holding up?
She's a strong woman. She's going to be just fine. Yeah. She's got all of her businesses. I mean, she's got a lot on her plate, but she's going to be just fine.
Do you think this is the end for her and Randall?
Yes.
Now, this current season, it's been a pretty wild ride. There's been a lot of attention on you and Brock, your relationship. How are you guys feeling about it all now that it's continuing to play out?
Brock knew going into this, you know, I mean, I think he was thinking he was just kind of going to be more of like my plus one, be my supportive partner, not really be front and center with his own family, like personal drama right off the bat. He's such an open book, and that can get him in trouble at times because he also doesn't always tell the full story. He'll just give, you know, highlights. I understand where Lala was coming from with her concern because Brock just gave her some really bad highlights without a lot of backstory and more information. But that's the thing about being on a reality show, you know, it's any skeleton you have in the closet is going to come out and you have to be accountable for it.
When these moments happen off camera and when mics are turned off, is there a trust among the cast about bringing things up and, you know, potentially blindsiding someone with one of these bombshells that occurred off camera? Did you feel like Lala was breaking your trust in any way at the table with Lisa?
I understand she was doing her job, and her job was to bring up some information that was brought to her. I disagree with how she did it. I think she could have pulled me aside, and that should have been a one-on-one conversation. But bringing it up in front of Lisa and Katie, who, you know, can be quite judgy, that really upset me because I know that he wasn't expecting her to bring it up on camera, let alone in front of Lisa and then Katie.
As it plays out on TV, not every viewer is paying attention to every word that is said, every scene that plays out. And so I'm sure that you two have had to defend yourself a lot or feel like you've had to defend yourself a lot to people on social media. What are some of the biggest misconceptions about Brock and his past? And, you know, how would you like to clear them up?
I think that's more for him to do, not for me. He has said, because I get so defensive of my man that like, I was doing this the other day on Twitter because Charlie said something about the TV that fell out of the wall. And I was like, well, actually, he didn't have the proper tools and you knew that. And he was like, honey, you don't need to defend me. I can defend myself. So I'm going to try and be better about that and not speak so much on his behalf. There is so much more to the story. We've discussed a lot of it on my podcast on the episode that comes out this week and also the one that was just out a few weeks ago. I could never say it as good as he can. So in his own words, we did that episode on my podcast and he goes really in depth about it.